Yo, what's going on, everyone? Today I want to talk about a different winger going to a new team, which is set to be hopefully Bradley Barcola to Liverpool. Now, this is a bit of an interesting transfer for me because of the way PSG are valuing him versus the way Liverpool are valuing him. As we know, Salah has left Liverpool and their right side is open, and it has been known priority that Barcola is Liverpool's #1 target. That's who they want, that's who they're keen on, and it seems like both parties are going to get a deal signed relatively soon. PSG are valuing him at around like 170, I've read, but I personally think it's going to be maybe 120 total or 120 plus add-ons at the end of it. Bradley Barcola is a 170 million player. I've seen this guy play multiple times. For Barcola, though, I guess he wants new life. He just went back-to-back with PSG in the Champions League. Obviously they dominate League One every year. He's in a great attack, plays next to the previous Ballon d'Or winner, plays with Kvaratskhelia, plays with Doué. It's a great team they have over there. But, he wasn't starting all the time. It was inconsistent starting with Doué, and then maybe times like Kvaratskhelia got injured. I'm just kind of talking out of here that he would play on the left. But when you watch Bradley Barcola, you would know he's a left winger more than a right winger. His dominant foot is his right. And I just think for him, it's a good time to leave because you already achieved everything over there in France. And, you already told Luis Enrique that you're going to go. And if anyone knows the history of Luis Enrique, especially with a guy like Mbappe, when you want to leave his team, when you want to leave his side, you're out of his mind completely. Even if the deal falls through and he can't go anywhere, Enrique's not going to take him back because you already, in his mind, left his club and he's looking for a replacement. For Liverpool, I think it's a great signing because, yes, they still need a guy on the right, but Barcola strengthens your attack a lot. Obviously, last year with Isak and Ekitike, Ekitike's out for a while with the Achilles. Isak broke his leg. You just saw the Liverpool attack with Gakpo on the left. They have Rio. I'm a big fan of Rio. And I don't know if this is going to hurt him a lot if this deal goes through. I don't know how Iraola is going to play the two. And as a Liverpool fan, I would love to see Rio play. But if we get Bradley Barcola, I'm not going to be too mad. So I think that under Iraola, Barcola will definitely get the minutes. I wouldn't really count out them going for a right winger now because that's what they still need. You're not signing this guy to play on the right. Gakpo can't really play on the right, and Gamoa can't really play on the right. I think maybe they'll go for Ryan from Bournemouth just because of the link up with him and Iraola. And yeah, the deal is a little bit janky because I think the market is so inflated nowadays, especially with, PSG saying they're taking the values of Morgan Rogers and Elliot Anderson into play. And obviously now Yan Diomande going for $100 million to Real Madrid definitely plays a factor in this because they might say, hey, well, this guy's a two-time proven Champions League winner. Look at his goal catalog. Look at his numbers. This guy is definitely worth more than $100 million, which is just crazy to say because all these wingers nowadays are going for $100 million, but that's the price you have to pay. Liverpool, they'll definitely get the deal done. It definitely helps them out. But I want to talk about this from the side of PSG. This is a detrimental loss to PSG. I'm not saying that now because it's leaving, but I just think they lost out on Diomande. Lee Kang-in has already left. Goncalo Ramos already left. And now you're going to lose Bradley Barcola. That attack doesn't have the depth that, it would have last year. Yes, they still have Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Doué, but knock on wood, one, maybe even two of those guys get injured. It's really spooky, and they're obviously trying to go for the three-peat. They want to get a three-peat in the Champions League. I would assume Ligue 1 is going to be pretty much very straightforward for them unless some team makes a charge at them. So I think for PSG, they're going to have to act quick. They're going to have to start signing guys to strengthen their attack because they just lost three great players to three different teams, and the one guy they wanted pretty much last minute went to Madrid. Barcola, in my opinion, is a great player. You watch him play, you realize how quick this kid is, how good he is on the dribble, how he could take his man one-on-one. I watched him play for PSG. I was at the France-Sweden game. This guy's dribbling through multiple people, but he cannot finish the ball. His finishing is so inconsistent. There are times this guy scores a banger, and it's just everyone's like, wow. And then there's other games where he's just missing sitters, and I just don't get it, especially for a guy of his profile. I think that obviously will change when he gets to Liverpool, just because, he's going to get more consistent minutes. He's playing in a definitely a tougher league. I'm not saying that. He's obviously won the Champions League twice, but you look at his numbers there and the amount of minutes he's played in the Champions League, the past 2 years. They've been very inconsistent. And I think with him getting more playing time, him coming under a new system, it might help. But for me, Barcola is just going to be so good for Liverpool. And I'm very excited to see him because I always like the challenge of players coming over from like different leagues like the Bundesliga, Liga, and over to the Premier League to see how they play in a more fast-paced, more rapid style of game over a 38-game season. There are some games, they're rotating, they're not playing, they don't want to go out there and play. And, the Premier League, especially with a team like Liverpool, every game counts over there. All 38 games count, especially they want to get their title back from Arsenal. Man City are going to be contending. Chelsea have a good squad. Man United have a good squad. There's a lot of good squads over there. So it's a really good challenge for him. I'm very excited to see how he does. Hopefully it goes through. The number is just going to be so janky. I don't know what Liverpool are going to do. But this is money you have to spend now if you want to be at the top, especially with how last year went for Liverpool. You spent damn near 140 on Isak. He broke his leg. He spent 80 on Ekitike. He's out with his Achilles. Ekitike was great. I'm not saying these guys are bad. Wirtz is still yet to prove himself. And, you just have to spend money to keep up with these guys, especially with the way you saw your squad last year. And you're losing, or your best, some may say their best player ever, Mohamed Salah. So you're not going to automatically replace him with a $120 million signing. But I definitely do think some of the production you're losing from Salah will come back through Barcola. I'm not saying he's going to come out here and do, 25 goals, 10 assists. But if I think he were to put up 14 goals, 8 assists in his debut, that's a fucking, sorry for my language, that's a really good season. And I like the signing a lot. I really hope it happens, especially for me because I do support Liverpool. And at the end of the day, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe, and I'll catch you later.